Welcome on in, everybody, here to the Postgame Pod at Auburn Undercover. Nathan King, joined by Jason Caldwell, Patrick Bingham behind the camera. We are in a random suite here at Kyle Field. You can see it behind us here in College Station where, oh dear, lots of problems for Auburn today. We don't have to tell anybody watching this about what happened during the game because you all watched it. Texas A&M 16, Auburn 10. Jason, this is a game with some hard questions for Auburn's offense moving forward. This was not a game at all where you would have been ashamed of losing. This is your second straight road game. This is a top 10 team. This is a very good Texas A&M team. But more so in the way if they had lost how we all thought they may have, which was, higher scoring game. This is a really good offense. Instead, Texas A&M tried their best to hand you this game over and over again. This has not necessarily proven itself to be a very daunting Texas A&M defense. Yeah. And yet, worst offensive game for Auburn in 8 seasons, 0 third down conversions. And really, Jason, I think the most concerning part is just confusing game plan, confusing play calls, really no good answers for what we saw out there today.
None. Yeah, you're right. No runs by the running backs at all in the first quarter. Only 8 running back carries combined between Jeremiah Cobb and Damari Alston. 4 of those were on plays where you faced 15 yards or longer. So basically, half of the only 8 you got, half of them were basically, hey, let's create some field position for a punt, or one was for a field goal. That's it. So you had really 4 true runs within the framework of the offense. Yeah. That's unacceptable. Hugh Freeze said, it's unacceptable. He was talking about the entire offense. That's where it starts for me because, you were running the ball okay, but you never gave it a chance today. That's the part of this one. And you look at the way this game finished, the end of it, because of the Xavier Atkins play, you have opportunities to win this game just like you did against Oklahoma. This one was way more frustrating, and Absolutely. Oklahoma was really frustrating. This one was way more frustrating, though, because it didn't look like you had any plan at all for a long time. It was just kind of like, and I used the word panic. I don't think Auburn ever panicked, but it felt like it was kind of panic play calling a little bit because you did not give the run a chance at all to begin with. And so, that was a frustrating one there because if you lose that one 38-30, even if you lose it 38-27,
right.
Even then you go, okay, man, the offense did a little bit more. That one felt all too familiar for Auburn fans for about the last 5 or 6 years, and that's the part that's worrisome.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote it in my instant story. This felt like watching this offense. This was a new operation, new personnel, new coaches, not really sure what they want their identity to be, and just kind of got smacked. This is week 5 of year 3. And so the fact that we were talking before we came up, it's like, what are you?
Yeah.
What do you want your identity to
know.
be? Damari Alston comes in, and we thought we knew after a couple weeks.
Correct.
Damari Alston comes in week 1 at Baylor, and he says,
that's who we are.
3 things in life, death, taxes, Auburn running the football, and then that happens. And even aside from that, I thought Jackson Arnold, this was easily the poorest performance that we've seen from him. Pocket presence was not there. Missed a lot of wide open players during the game, and perhaps the biggest personnel concern on offense for me is the offensive line.
Yeah.
This does not look like a group that has 6 NFL ready guys, as Hugh Freeze touted in the preseason. This is the 7th most experienced, snap-wise, 7th most experienced group in the country. They were, Ferg said during the game, they're jumping like dogs on the 4th of July. They do not look like a group that is ready to perform on a good offense.
Listen, and this is a big place. It is not an intimidating place in terms of noise. I've been on the field everywhere Auburn's been for the last 20-plus years. This is just another place.
Yeah, it's a good environment, but
there's 108,000 people here, but that was not the reasoning. It was a lack of composure. I don't know, lack of preparation is the word, but there were issues where you start looking at it, and look, some of it was just plain physical. Some of it was just like, hey, you're getting beat. If it was, hey, it's scheme, all those things, you could understand it maybe a little bit. That's not what this is. This is, hey, you're physically getting me at the point of attack. These guys are winning battles, and that's the part that, yes, I don't know right now if you don't have to make some serious changes. Now, obviously, Too Tall is a guy that's played some, but look, Drake Carter, Cale Ellis, there's some things that you have to talk about, and you mentioned another one. I think you have to talk about Jackson Arnold a little bit. Now, again, it's not all on him, but there's opportunities for plays, opportunities to get rid of the football instead of taking sacks. And, again, there may be a couple here, but sometimes as a quarterback you have to put the ball in harm's way to give your guy a chance, and we didn't really see any of those today. And you have to do some of those things in some situations. And I mean, Auburn's got some guys that can go win those battles. Perry Thompson, that downfield throw to him was really the only one I can remember.
You got to go up and get that.
Yeah, and again, he put it in a good spot. But you have to do more of that in a game like this to give your guys a chance to win. And I thought it was really, really, really conservative in terms of the way he played. And then on the flip side, it wasn't conservative enough the way they called offense.
Yeah, and then if against good teams, if you're running the ball with Jackson Arnold, if that's not going to be as effective, then you have to take a look in the mirror and say, does he give you what you need passing the football? But as Hugh Freeze said after the game, and I thought he was very, he owned this performance maybe more so than any time we've ever heard him after a game, saying that, and you mentioned making some changes, reevaluate everything during the bye week. Good time for the bye week, of course, with Georgia coming up after that, but lots of questions for this team, and I think they're going to have to make some difficult decisions. And I think Hugh Freeze is going to have to look internally as well, and he knows that. Yeah. And on this coaching staff, what decisions they want to make on offense moving forward, because we mentioned it with Peyton Thorne at quarterback, and now it's not more of the same, but it's very similar problems for this offense. Everything just looks very high degree of difficulty.
And you're not turning it over.
No, you still got no turnovers.
So it looks different. Last year, you made plays, but you turned it over.
Yep.
This year, that's now the second game in a row that looked like you had one or two of those games the past couple of years where it just like, man, you were outclassed. This team is not outclassed.
No.
But they did not have an answer all day long. To me, that's the most concerning part of this.
Yeah, and then, and Freeze would say it too, but, the excuses sort of dwindle when you get to this point of a tenure, when you get to this point of building up talent. Jackson Arnold had his issues, but at the end of the day, that's the quarterback you went out and picked in the portal. So again, how much of that can you really put on anybody but yourself? Defensive side of the ball, I've said it before, you can make criticisms, but this season, I still cannot make any sort of heavy criticism about anything the defense did, especially in this game. I don't care about yardage or anything.
Yeah, they did what they had to do. They scored 16 points.
They scored 9 points in the second half.
16 points in a day where your offense gave you nothing.
Yes, put you on the doorstep.
Here's the thing, and you scored 7 of the other points because that was a 2-yard touchdown drive. You can't ask for more. I mean, could you stop them here or there? In the end, you gave up 16 and you scored 7. I'm going to give the defense that 7 points. Second week in a row, you play well enough to win the game, play well enough that you should have won the game with just a little bit from your offense, and it wasn't enough.
We'll talk about it during the bye week, of course, coming up. Again, I think good time also to sort of just evaluate what's been happening and see what kind of changes Auburn could make. But, we talked about the quarterback position. Do we see it'd be difficult to throw somebody like Deuce Knight in there against Georgia, throw somebody like Ashton Daniels in there against Georgia, but I would not be surprised if there are some major personnel differences, Jason, when Auburn takes the field again on offense, because you have to do something.
Yeah.
You cannot continue with the plan that we saw today.
I agree. Yeah, I think you're right. It's hard truth time, and Freeze talks about Monday being, that's truth day. Truth day Monday is going to be tough because I think a lot of it's going to be in the mirror. It's not just you, Freeze, but look, everybody on the offensive staff has to hold this one and go, okay, what's the answer? And I think that's going to be something that you got to figure out between now and when you play Georgia here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, there was a number of frustrating play calls across the board that just kind of made you scratch your head. And so, Jason's right. The coaching staff looking in the mirror on this one. The 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 come to mind. That's going to be one that sticks with Auburn fans.
I think down here on this end, the previous possession, you got over 7 minutes left. You're backed up to your own 13-yard line. You can run the football. You got all your timeouts. There's plenty of time. You're down 6. Drop back to pass, take a 7-yard sack. Again, hey, you need to throw that ball away. So play calling is not ideal, but you can remedy that by, be 2nd and 10. Give yourself a chance. And so there's some of those situations, too, that I think you have to look at what you're doing, how it's being done. I'm not saying you start over.
Sure.
But, man, there's a big reset button that's got to be hit.
Light show going on behind us. Apparently, I was wondering what that was. Lot to still get into from this game over the course of the bye week. For now, we will let you guys go on the Postgame Pod. For Jason Caldwell and Patrick behind the camera, Auburn falls 16-10 today at number 9, Texas A&M, and a lot to talk about in terms of offensive fixes for this team. Moving forward, we'll see you guys over at auburnundercover.com. Still got all sorts of coverage coming Saturday into Sunday. We'll talk to y'all soon.